Hello, everybody, and welcome to another DealershipNews.com podcast. I'm Kelly Kleiman here, as I am each week, with another Who's Happening in the Automotive Industry. Today we have live with Drive, Steve Roessler of DriveCentric, a company that is most certainly not your father's CRM. Steve, thanks for joining us.
Hey, thanks, Kelly. That was good. The way you said it there. I like it. Good intro.
I went through your list of videos on YouTube, and I was completely amused by them. Great job. Keep them coming.
Oh, thank you.
I can see why they have you at so many of these shows now. You're going to be the go-to dude at all the new the conventions and expos and all those wonderful things that come up. We have so many of them. First and foremost, let's kind of get into how you got your start in the automotive industry. Is it something you always wanted to do, or did you just kind of find a healthy niche in automotive CRM as it applies to your current business practice? We're trying to determine your path to success here.
Yeah, no, it's an interesting way life always comes around. But I got into automotive now about 4 years ago. I've actually been the last probably 13 years, I've been a startup guy, meaning I've been with startup companies and incubator sites, mostly here in St. Louis, Missouri, just growing companies. But my two previous jobs, I was in the medical industry for 15 years doing, stuff in the OR, doing some stuff with pharmacists at hospitals all across the country. And then before that, I was in engineering. But in every one of my careers, I've always used a CRM. And CRM in every other industry besides automotive, it's that thing that you want to use as a salesperson to keep you right on task. So when my neighbor, who has been in the car business over 20 years, he's been telling me I should get into automotive, I always said, no, I'm not going to get into automotive. I won't get into automotive. I want to be an F&I guy. But he said, well, I got something I want you to take a look at. And he didn't tell me it was a CRM. I went up there. I took a look at the CRM. And when I saw a video being shot inside the CRM, for me, that was like, I think that's where the future is as far as how we're going to communicate with customers on a daily level. And I knew software was a very popular place to be. And so I started learning automotive, and that's where I'm at here today. So I love this industry, though. I'm definitely meant for this industry.
I fell into it similarly. It just sort of happens, and you kind of fall in love with it. I'm with you on that. So what would your elevator pitch sound like for DriveCentric should you ever need one? After all, you need to always be selling, and I think you are.
Well, I mean, I hope I come off as, being a startup guy, I think the one thing we have to admit, I mean, we can't turn on the TV without hearing the word customer experience, no matter where you go. And when we go out there and we talk about the buying cycles of customers and even the OEMs and Google, you have 14 days to sell a car 80% of the time. So our biggest thing we want to do is we want dealerships to be different and just talk to their customers. And the way we're doing that is with the tools within DriveCentric that most dealerships go out there and typically buy. We want them to engage customers differently and give the customer a better experience. And when you start seeing positive engagement coming back in the CRM via emails, via text, and, our dealerships are, actually pointing out customers to us that are saying positive things back to the dealership, it's just real refreshing to hear that feedback.
What sets you apart from your most advanced competitors, and who are some of those folks?
Oh, well, I think everybody that goes out there and looks at CRMs, I think everybody knows that, you got eLeads, you got Vent Solutions, and DealerSocket. Those are the big three competitors. Really what sets us apart is we just modernized where CRMs are. If you take a look at our platform and what the complaints are in the industry, it's usually that my CRM is just so hard to use. Right. To get somebody that's brand new and to bring them on outside the automotive industry that's never been on a platform, sometimes there's a lot of training that's involved. And what we did was, and I give major kudos to our product development team, product manager, in putting together a tool that looks just like Facebook. And so, yeah, we're starting to do remote launches because people just feel that it's that easy to use. But everything, texting is really easy. We're getting a lot of great feedback on texting, which I believe is the new email. And I think we get a lot of our customers texting more in the CRM than they ever did, and sending personalized video. I mean, those are two new forms of communication that we need to do today to give the customer a better experience. So,
what would your three most popular integrations be? You mentioned a couple right there, a few right there. Would those be your three top integrations?
yeah, I would say our popular one, no doubt, is Genius. And that's a platform that includes artificial intelligence and the AI. So artificial intelligence and the hit list. So I'll get into that. And then video. So yeah, the Genius and the part of the artificial intelligence is having it fully integrated. This is where a dealership using one of those other CRMs, they typically don't have an artificial intelligence, so they go out and you buy an artificial intelligence and plug that into the CRM. So we built everything, which makes us very unique from the ground floor up. So it's our own artificial intelligence. We build personalized video where it's right there on the desktop, right there on the mobile phone. We even have a pause button, where you can kind of self-edit the video. So if you want to go out there, brand yourself, and then flip the camera, show the car, you can very simply. So it's very obtainable now to communicate, usually on a store level, anywhere between 75 to 100 videos a day. So it's pretty cool. And then the last thing you mentioned, that's part of the Genius, is the hit list, which is a big differentiating factor where salespeople can now see the what's in it for me for shooting videos, because now I can predict inside the CRM when customers are out there looking for cars. So the CRM becomes almost a live feed of leads instead of just, there for the moment. They can regenerate themselves in the CRM, so we can know when a good time is to reach out and talk to every customer.
Are you guys running a streaming video as well? I know there's several different companies out there. We've interviewed a couple, and a couple have approached me to be interviewed, like Drop-In or 11 Site, where they have a streaming video platform which allows somebody who is shy or doesn't want to have to deal face-to-face with a salesman, or they live too far away or whatever, to be able to actually visit the lot via streaming video and even download apps and fill out apps in real time. Is that something that's part of your CRM as well?
Yeah, we don't do anything like a live streaming. I guess the way we would do it is, the way I would recommend based on that situation. You have a customer several hours away, which, I guess the best story that I've ever heard, the furthest distance, was I had an Ohio dealership sell 2 cars to Iceland through a personalized video. So as you engage the customer, whether it's a used car, new car, whatever you want to do, the guys are going out there and just saying, hey, I'll send you a video of the car with the engine running. It is going to be, to the point where I think people will do almost like a FaceTime selling appointment, and that's where it's going to go. I think it's still too early, but, I mean, they could surely do that, but they would have to go through a different channel on that. Yeah. But right now it would be all personalized video through text or email.
Makes sense. When you get hired by a dealership, what does your checklist look like when it comes to determining what that business needs to get better?
Yeah, it's a really great question. A lot of the dealerships are not like right now sending personalized video, or they're not using artificial intelligence. So one of the things that we always try to do is educate the dealership first and foremost on what are the metrics for engagement and what are some of the hurdles out there. So now the stores that are using artificial intelligence or a personalized video, it's very simple. They can get rid of a lot of those different third-party vendors that they're paying differently and get it all together in one CRM. Mm-hmm. So it's really 2 steps. If they already have it, they already see the value of doing those products. It's now a matter of just now having it fully integrated. That makes their life a lot simpler, and everything's connected from those tools perspective. If we're going out there and they've never shot personalized video, or if they never leverage artificial intelligence, what we just have to do is kind of show what these tools are doing as far as, number one, an engagement and an experience. A lot of times we just want to know how other dealerships are doing, for example, videos. Like, how do I confirm appointment video? Mm-hmm. Well, if I get a customer that doesn't buy a car, would it be powerful to send them a be-back video? And the answer is yeah. So I could almost give you, for example, just a video, a reason to send a video versus send an email, as an example. And then artificial intelligence, they just got to usually see the success on how to partner and get trained using artificial intelligence. So once they get over that hurdle, then they see the value of it and they typically get them. So.
And of course, I'm sure you show them a number of different case studies. You mentioned one particular case study with the company from Roessler, the buyer from Iceland, which is really interesting.
Yeah.
Who are some of your biggest clients, and can you share a couple other success stories with us?
Yeah, I mean, like some of our key customers that have been with us and great partners, the Rydell organization, Brian Rydell has been great. Kenwood Automotive Group, Mr. Steve Reichert, he's been great. And a lot of these guys have just been with us through, as the development of DriveCentric's been around. Got the Lou Fuse Auto Group here in St. Louis, Missouri, and SunTrip. Those are some of the real key groups that have been a part of our success as we've grown the company. But obviously there's a lot that we have, but those have bbeen kind of like our foundation of us getting to the level where we're at today. As far as other success stories, I mean, gosh, man, there's so many. It's great when you hear like personalized video. I mean, I'm a real fan of sending personalized video as far as a mainstream form of communication. Some of the great success stories that I've just seen just with video, just to give you an example, is I had a guy, a sales guy from Chattanooga, sent me a success story of him sending out 5 virtual test drives. There was a guy who was selling a used car down in Pensacola, Florida, and the guy did not want to go up to Chattanooga from Pensacola, for example, to buy the car without test driving it.
Imagine that.
Yeah, imagine that. It makes total sense. So he sent a virtual test drive. He's the BDC guy, and he had his sales guy with him, and they went on a test drive, and they literally filmed about 5 or 6 different videos so he could feel the guy comfortable as far as what the test drive, hear the engine, run, things of that nature. And they wound up selling the car on a Sunday. They met in Birmingham, Alabama. I just love that story. But you just see cultural changes. I think that's probably the more success story when we go out there, and you mentioned my YouTube videos. When you see dealerships going, yeah, we are live with Drive, it's a culture change. I mean, I know it sounds kind of, maybe weird to say that a CRM can really change the culture, but I believe that as we go out there and partner with new dealerships, I think the fact that everybody is so phone heavy and nobody wants to pick up the phone and emails are pretty well, in my opinion, dead. We have to focus on what works, and texting is a major part of communication. And I always tell dealerships, you have to measure what's your text email ratio. And when I hear success stories of, man, I've sent out 5,000 texts and 5,000 emails in a CRM, that to me is a success story, because they're changing the game as far as how we're communicating with the customers in 2018. So those are some good stories.
That's a great story. Reputation is crucial for any dealership, and Podium, another vendor, seems to have quite a few dealers on board with them, but they really don't do anything special except filter cherry-picked reviews and beam the bad ones in outer space. How do you guys approach reputation management, and which is unusual for a typical CRM program? I don't know that any other CRM programs actually deal with reputation management, but it's crucial for any dealership. How do you guys handle that? What does that look like?
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because I know that's I didn't mention that as far as a key integration, but that would be another piece to the puzzle that you could reduce. I mean, because we built reputation inside the CRM. What's different is we basically go through and we automate it, and the Genius actually helps be a part of that, where we ask the customer with a video. So usually our general manager, service director. So anytime somebody comes in for sold, not sold, or a service appointment, and we get those closed ROs, we send a video out. And that video will ask the customer, hey, we appreciate your time, and trusting you to do service with our dealership. Below us, you'll see 5 stars, and we go through and do a temperature check with the customer. And if they get a 5-star review, then we automatically send them another link that says, hey, would you like to post this on Google? Would you like to send it over to DealerRater, or another post that the dealership would like to boost up their ratings? But the key is number one, the video. So we're talking to the customer. And then number 2 is, the reputation is stored within the CRM. And I think what's crucial that I think we have to focus on is, again, what's the customer's experience with each and every dealership? And if I know that, you, for example, Kelly, maybe had a 1-star experience, I would hope I would approach you much differently than if you were a 5-star. So having that in the CRM is helping us engage the customer in a different way if it's visible. Right now, riding a separate platform, it's just not visible to the dealerships.
Yeah, most reputation management software is just an email It's not even a video email. So I think adding that personalized touch sort of makes AI a little bit more personal, because I'm really amazed at how well some AI works. It seems as though you're going back and forth on an email with an actual person until you realize you continue to get those weird emails when
Right.
your business is already done and they're still asking, did you want to buy that car? But this is different. I do like that approach. So
let me just throw out one more thing, though, because
Sure.
I totally forgot maybe two missing pieces. Because number one, the video plays an important role as far as how we're going to create a bigger hit list. So if you just kind of think from a dealership perspective, how many closed ROs they get in the service drive, what we're doing is we're taking those customers with the video, and we're able to track and predict when those customers are back in the market looking for a car. So if you think of how many people come visit the showroom or buy or go through the service drive, we're accessing that data into the CRM to, again, become a live feed of customers in that CRM that are predicted to buy a car in the future. So that's pretty cool. And then, and the only other thing, sometimes what I hear with dealerships, I'm not saying every dealership does this, but sometimes getting them reviews when it's manual is hard to do. Mm-hmm. So a lot of dealerships, while Podium is a good platform, a lot of the dealerships stiff their salespeople, make sure they get them done. And so by the time you add up the cost of Podium plus the spiffs that are involved, a lot of times it's less expensive just to get it all in the CRM and automate it. So that's the other factor.
That makes sense. So what does this is the question that I love asking, because everybody has a little R&D going on. They have big plans for the future. What does DriveCentric have that's going to get us all excited in the coming year?
Oh, man. Well, being a newer company, I mean, we got a lot of things to work on, but having artificial intelligence being a key ingredient inside the CRM, we're going to have and build the AI to do a lot more things. First and foremost, we're going to get better on the internet side. You'll start seeing the artificial intelligence schedule appointments, which is really cool. As we build the service piece, we want the artificial intelligence to start working the service side in many different areas. But she's also going to be looking at the customers that are in the hit list. So if a customer is predicting to buy a car, we're going to train her on how to talk to a customer that may be looking for the car here in the near future to try to generate leads. So there's a lot of work being done on the artificial intelligence. One of the other features we're going to be adding, I'm hoping in the next 3 to 6 months, is a tool called mentioning, where salespeople, managers, they can now hit like at Kelly or at Steve, let's say in a customer's record, and it'll notify you on what you want them to do. So it's like an internal communication on that particular customer, what you want salespeople or maybe a manager to do. I think it's getting to the point where I want to make sure my salespeople stay with the customer, and if I need to be a payment of $400, I can just hit, at Joe, Joe's working the desk. Hey, can you get my numbers to be at $400? And I can leave the customer. Don't have to leave the customer at the desk, potentially leaving the store, but I can stay with them and I can communicate with my manager internally inside Drive. So those are two really cool features that are going to be coming down the road. But yeah, we still got a lot of things to do, but those are some of the key things on the horizon probably in the next 6 months.
That sounds impressive. So that's 6 months down the road. Let's get into our crystal ball here. And where's Steve Roessler going to be 5 years from now?
Oh, well, I'll still be VP of sales. I'm hoping I'm doing a lot more with the OEMs on the educational side. Mm-hmm. I think that's, I really like talking about how we need to engage customers differently. I think that's what the race is to, is engagement. And some of the things, like right now, what I'm doing is educate some of the OEMs on the texting metrics on engagement. And so some of the OEMs like Toyota and Subaru have dispositions with DriveCentric where it shuts off the clock. And I think what we need to do is educate the OEMs to start allowing texting dispositions as a major form of communication inside CRMs to do that. And just really getting out there and teaching on personalized video, just even texting and how to use GIFs as far as a part of the communication, which you can do. Mm-hmm. It makes our job fun. It makes it more real life to what you're doing on your cell phone. And, using GIFs is a mainstream form of communication. And I did a very quick talk on just GIFs, and it was amazing how many people said that could be a talk. So I may do a presentation, like literally on how to apply GIFs into your business talk, given the situation. So, but that's where I think I'm going to wind up doing is a lot more educational talks, still doing obviously all the trade shows and things of that nature.
And making videos.
And making videos. That's right. I mean, I'll still always. I mean, but I'm doing that today. So.
Well, I would have liked to have made a podcast video, but we're still working on that technology here. Once we get everything here aligned perfectly with the stars, we'll be ready to get in the video. But Steve, it's been great visiting with you. You're an awesome guy, and look forward to seeing you at some of these trade shows in person. And we'll make sure we stay in touch with you. That was Steve live with Roessler, and that's DriveCentric, and that's a CRM you really need to take a look at. This is Kelly. The DealershipNews.com podcast is signing off for now. Have a great day, everybody.